Hey everybody, this is Al again with El Rey Collection. Hope everything is well out there. I'm here today to bring you the epic cardboard of someone you most likely haven't heard of. His name is George Camsell, and it's really kind of a funny story. A few years ago, I actually stumbled across a BBC news article where they talked about the best England striker you never heard of, and it was Camsell. And the main reason why is he seemed to have a lot of records that then became that were then passed, and nobody tends to remember second place. But in reality, he's just an epic, prolific goal scorer, and he's again in this category like Baston, like Drake, where his cards can be found for a couple of quid, and he literally had the record for most goals in a season. It was 59 in what was it, 26, 27, and then Dixie Dean breaks that the very next season with 60. And then nobody talks about Camsell. Everybody always talks about Dixie Dean, and the record will never that will never be broken. So he's super close to that level, but he's in the shadow of Dixie Dean, and he ends up with 345 goals in 453 appearances, which is basically that 0.75 ratio, which is absolutely amazing. He actually, the one record that I still think he does hold is the highest ratio of goals per game while playing for the national team, and I think that's close to two, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. Yeah, 2 goals averaged by England, but it's only in like 9 or 10 games, so not a big thing there. And then he also holds another great record, the number of consecutive games where he scored a goal. He held that in 9 consecutive games, but guess what? Steve Bloomer had done that in 10 games prior to him. So he's basically just kind of on the cusp of a lot of epic things. And of course, he didn't play for Manchester United, or any big club, Arsenal or anything. So he still holds a lot of the Middlesbrough records, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people says who cares. So anyway, epic goal scorer, amazing, so close to being really at the top of some critical records, but in the end falls a little bit short and has been completely in the shadow of Dean and others, from a historical perspective. And today, hopefully, I'll show you some of his cardboard that personally I find quite interesting, and I hope that you guys do as well. And you can go check it out and add him to your collection if you think he makes sense for you. He certainly has a home in the El Rey collection, because I think he's just an important player. That is much forgotten to history. So he actually starts playing, I think, in 24, 25. The first card I actually have of him is not one that actually I can show here. I think it's off grading, which is, I think it's 1927. But yeah, you can. It's a nice artistic. I think it's even Gallagher. It's a nice artistic picture of him kicking the ball. My intuition tells me that there should be a 26 card of his. The earliest I found was the 27, 28. And that's relevant because those cards, celebrate his incredible goal performance. So, but one of the rarer issues that you just don't see that much is this one that I'm showing here. It's the Lovell and Company, and this is the Toffee Rex back. There's other backs of this particular card from what I recall, but it's really kind of cool. I like this Toffee Rex down here, the king of toffees. One of my collecting enjoyment is to see how things are distributed in different parts of the world. So you got in Mexico, you get Milo milk, for a 1970 set, for instance. In Germany, you get with the Bremer with coffee. You get you get these cards issued with coffee, something you would never even expect to see here in the United States. And I find it super interesting. This is to my knowledge the only card issued with toffee. Not a caramel, but specifically toffee. So that's kind of fun. I call me crazy or just but I find these little nuances of collecting a lot of fun. Another good example of that is the Platín Detergente in Spain, which is a 1953 issue that's issued with detergent. So you see soccer just and football getting ingrained into so many cultures that it shows up literally in the most unexpected places. So anyway, here's this is Lavelle's, and I love it. I love it. Again, you're not going to break the bank. And this is what I love still about soccer football collecting, whether it's, true vintage or whether it's modern or ultra modern, maybe not because of the packs are expensive and the key players, but, pre-modern and, just go back, find some of these players that you like or, as part of your club, research the history and you'll just be astounded at what you can find. And, in many cases, you're just paying shipping. I mean, literally, that's how low price some of these cards are. And these were epic players. Imagine if somebody now like Mbappe scored, 40 goals in a season, 50 goals, 60 goals. What would be going crazy? And now you can go back get a 100-year card, and maybe not 100, 95-year-old card, right? For a few dollars. Or a couple quid. It's worth forgoing that next pint and picking up a couple of these. I promise you. So another one pretty typical. Again, not very hard. Is this Gallagher? Again, look at these great backs on this. Again, the 27 of his is also available. This is the one that I was telling you about that comes in a full body. Unfortunately, I can't show you that one today. You've seen this issue as well. In some of my others, this tiny little photographic one. I mean, these are just so nice. Look at how happy he is. He's just happy to be a footballer. Amazing. Love it. This is a blank back, so I won't even bother showing you that. And then the usual culprits that you find in, the Carreras, 1934s, 35s. They have a number of different sets, but look at this crest. It just harkens back to I'm going to say the good old days, but that's probably not right. This is pre-war Europe and all these tensions coming up, but certainly from a simpler time and a fun time to go back and collect. So here's these Gold Flake Honeydew, which is what SGC calls them. I think that, these are really great from the 1934-35 season. And they talk right here. You can see in the 1926-27 season, he set a new record with 59 goals, which Dean subsequently surpassed. I mean, how unlucky is that, right? You break a crazy record in like your, second or third professional year, and then the next year, another guy breaks the record that is never to be broken. I mean, it's got to be demoralizing. If anybody sees my videos, they definitely will know about the Cersei issues. To me, I think these are some of, still, again, the most incredible issues from the 30s, out of Malta. Again, you have to love those backs. Those are certainly amazing. When we think 1934 Ardath, we're normally thinking about Stanley Matthews rookie, but here's a nice other Ardath. You can see right here, really nice Ardath Court State Express cigarettes. So when you kind of go through all of these early, I mean mid 30s ones, you can find these. They're all over the place, and just for, I never need to pay more than $20 for these, right? Then you need to grade it a bit, if you wanted to grade it. So yeah, you're all in. Hopefully when prices come back down $20 or $30 for 100-year artifacts of an epic player that people don't have largely forgotten. But let's not forget him. Let's bring him back. Let's get some people to celebrate some of these successes. This is probably my favorite non-20s card of his. So this is from 1939, and it's called the Toblerone. And so this issue is just another one of those incredibly scarce ones. Haven't really been able to find these, many of these. I look, but I just can't find it. This one is like in terrible condition. You see it's X album, but look at that Toblerone. Chocolat Toblerone, and obviously Toblerone, the German candy maker. Now I'm not exactly sure if they're related, but this particular card has held a special place in my collection, just because I found this issue really hard to find. So I think when it comes down to literally what the BBC says, the greatest striker you've never heard of, I got to agree. You knock in nearly 350 goals, and I'm betting that the vast majority of my audience has not heard or followed of George Camsell. Hopefully that was somewhat enlightening, and that you enjoyed the epic cardboard of one of the most prolific and epic strikers to ever play for England or Middlesbrough. And hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please smash that like button and subscribe. Would really appreciate it, and I'll continue to make videos on some players that may be helpful to add to your collections. So thanks everybody. Keep good luck in your search for epic cardboard.